Here at Mornington, and a good little card it is. First has been cut up a little with scratchings, but there's certainly a bit of depth in it. Permission resuming for Peter Moody has come up $3, drifted to $3.50, so it's been deposed as favourites. Well, actually, Lillylightful opened $2.30 to $2.40, back into $2.30, so it's been favoured all the way through. And the other one, Spot on Maggie's $2.88 to $3.10. So they're the three main ones in the betting, although the market's still a little bit off here at 131%. Let's get into the Manning Yard for Coolmore, Australia, the home of champions. And the first horse we'll look at is TRB number 2. And this is High Dependency, who is a 6-year-old mare making her debut. She's $31 out to $51. She hasn't trialled in public. Her dam won 2 picnic races. Her only other runner is a 19-start maiden. Need to see her today without any market support for sure. Okay, TRB number 3 is Hoaxdess, $8 out to $10. I think that's a bit of overs. I think the $10 40 plus on Super Tab. I think she's probably around a sort of a $6, $7 chance. Hoaxdess, who was a sound third here last time. Now, that was a handy maiden on paper. Agasha won the race. The Fairy's Kiss was second. They dominated the race from the front. This mare was able to box seat and battle on well into that third spot. And I'm not sure this has that sort of depth, this maiden, depending on what happens with a couple resuming here from key stables. So she's right in the race for mine. She's my third top rater. 4 and 5 are out. 6 Lillylightful is the favourite, open $2.30, touch $2.40 into $2.25 now, so good support even though the markets are wide percentage. So Lillylightful's tote price is on your screen. She resumes. First up last time in, she ran a 1.8 length second to a horse called Celebrity Girl, and that was at Betfair Park Hillside. They ran a sharp 56.27 for the 1,000. She then went to Caulfield and was safely held there. But she was eased down after racing tight, so it was no guide at all. She then went to Cranbourne but struck heavy ground. So on that first up run last time in, I can see her being very hard to beat on that Celebrity Girl form line. She's my second top rater. 7 Elusive Miss is $7 out to $8. Another debutante. This is a 3-year-old filly. Super Tab price on your screen there. It is no public trials for this girl. Dan won 2 of her 25 starts, did cryptography. This is her first fold to the races. Market is really our only guide, $7 to $9, unless you know something inside. And 2011 is the year. Yep. So Fontanet, TRB number 8, $26 out to $31. TRB number 8, a debutante, 3-year-old filly. This one, no public trials. Dan was unraced, first fold to the races. All we've got is the market, really. 26 to 31, as I say. 9 and 10 are out. 11 permissions open, $3, drifting to $3.60. And Super Tab price, there it is, $4.20. Had one run in late May, 25th of May, sat wide on the speed. Travelled okay, but as soon as she was let go in the heavy ground, she folded up and didn't handle it at all. She was $5 out to $6 that day, and it was a city race won by stablemate Last Society, who's pretty smart. So expecting her to improve lengths on dry ground here. Permission, and had her on top on a bit of spec there. And 12 Spot on Maggie is TRB number 12 down the bottom. $2.88 to $3.20. And the second elect behind Lillylightful on course here. $3.50 on your totes represents half a point of value. Her debut in late May she was $5 out to $7. She shared the speed that day and battled on well to be beaten only 2 lengths into 6th place. That was, as I say, late May. She was quickly tipped out. Haven't seen a trial for her return, but she's right in the race on that strong debut effort, and expect she's come on in the break. So she's in the mix for sure. She was my 4th top rater. So let's have a look at some tips here. For the first, went with Permission, Lillylightful, Hoaxdess and Spot on Maggie. So 11, 6, 3 and 12. Heavily back to your TRB number 6. There's been late support for Spot on Maggie too. So still got 5 or 6 minutes up our sleeve. Might go through a couple of market moves here, because there have been a few nibbles. Market becoming more competitive into 127%. So up the top, we'll go through them all because of a few debutants here. So High Dependency is $31 to $51. Hoaxdess now $8 to $12. That's TRB number 3. So you're unders the tote now. Lillylightful's been well back, $2.30, touch $2.40, back into $2.20, and $2.60 on your tote. So your touch of value Super Tab there. Elusive Miss 7 out to 11, so she's been a drifter. Fontanet 26 to 51. Permission's been 3 out to 380. Now, Spot on Maggie, 280 to 320 into $3, TRB number 12. Now, I mentioned she hadn't trialled. She did win a trial actually early September, just over the road at Cranbourne. So they ran 46.89 for that trial. So just wasn't on the right page there with my notes. Apologies. So she's trialled pretty well for this, and she will, hence the support for her for sound debut run too. So Sporting Bet team having trouble splitting those two. We'll just hold off on the other market mover. Lillylightful and Spot on Maggie, the two they're backing. Permission's the one that's been on the drift. $3 out to 380. That's TRB number 11. Elusive Miss 7 to 11. Hoaxdess 8 out to 12. So the main two they're interested in, 6 to Lillylightful and 12 Spot on Maggie. Might let the dust settle for another 60 seconds or so on that and see if we can get a Sporting Bet market mover nailed for you. But they're the two they want. So seems to be two main schools of thought here with 3 minutes of betting time to go. Debutants here, tough to do a speed map. Obviously high dependency, Elusive Miss, Fontanet. So 3 debutants and none of them have trialled in public. So yeah, very difficult to assess. Rail out 7 metres. Today, I mentioned the last meeting here, I was here for TVN. The rail was back in the true after being out a couple of times, and early in the day, it was certainly no disadvantage to be on speed and on the inside. Later in the day, it seemed to level out, and they were able to run on. And today, with the rail out 7, previous meetings, this rail dimension has suited those horses just off the inside, certainly as the day goes on. So we'll see how it plays out. Of course, the 7 metre rail here at Mornington does make it a tight track. So you do need a bit of luck and be in the race coming to the turn short straight here at Mornington. Okay, 12:10's kick-off time for the first. We're only about 2 minutes away. Let's have a look down the board again now. I'm hearing Spot on Maggie, the 12, will be our Sporting Bet Australia market mover, TRB number 12. So 280 to 320 into 280. TRB number 12, that's her on screen in the well-known colours, the black lime star sleeves and cap for Pat Carey, Candy Vale colours, of course. Won an Australian Cup, Candy Vale. She beaten in a photo, wasn't she? Yes, beaten in a photo. So we can't give her the win. We'll give her a photo second. She was a good mare though. She could run a freak sectional, Candy Vale. Sportingbet.com.au market mover is Spot on Maggie, 320 into 280. Now 280 was her original opening quote. The Lillylightful's 230 to 220 out to 240. And just let you know, I will be available for trivia nights coming up. Just getting that one wrong again. So we're just moving beautifully early doors here at Mornington. Spot on Maggie been well backed. Lillylightful was well backed through earlier in the betting, but now out to 250. So clear market movers the 12. Permissions 3 to 380, no further drift. Elusive Miss now 7 to 13, so she continues to drift, and Hoaxdess continues to blow as well. She's $8 out to 14, so that's quite an alarming drift. Our 3 debutants, there was no interest in any of them. High dependency 31 to 71. Down to Elusive Miss 7 out to 13 and Fontanet 26 to 61. So none of these debutants, according to the market anyway, will have any impact on race number 1. Well, Terry, I didn't see your name on the roster today. I was pretty happy about that because I know the Dragons got beaten, mate. But I thought you might be a little bit depressed, but you're a professional. I'm sure you'll soldier through the day.
I was very proud of the boys. I think every St George supporter was absolutely thrilled with their performance. They were absolutely magnificent, and just bad luck to get beaten. But anyway, we've got another year coming up next year. And Gavin joins us for our coverage of racing. It's very windy conditions around Victoria today, even outside of Melbourne. And it's quite windy here at the moment. The flags look like they're going from left to right as you look out to the racecourse. And we're nearly all set for the first. Lillylightful running TAB favourite, Spot on Maggie, best tried. Now we're just waiting on Spot on Maggie, Hoaxdess and Elusive Miss kept reasonably firm in the betting. Michael Walker, Danny Adam, Kane Bradley not riding at the meet. $2.70 about the favourite. And we're nearly ready to jump. Elusive Miss just backpedaling there, not sure why. She's getting a little stirred up with very windy conditions. To Lillylightful in the red and white jacket. She has been prone to missing the start in her few runs to date. Looked like she could do something at Caulfield about 4 back and got bailed away with nowhere to go. Fontanet stood well. Hoaxdess moves in. And so they're ready to run. First on the card. And they're off. Starter caught them in a great line. High Dependency didn't have great speed. Permission away well on the outside. Delightful Lily going quickly. And as they settle down, Lillylightful drives up on the fence and goes to the front and leads from Permission. 2 lengths away, Spot on Maggie. Outside of it, Elusive Miss. 3 lengths, Fontanette, Hoaxdress. And High Dependency, the last one. Coming to the 600 metres mark. And with the inside running, Lillylightful leads the way from Permission. Spot on Maggie going out 3 wide and 4 deep is Elusive Miss. Hoaxdress 1 from the rail behind those. They were followed by Fontanette on the inside and 2 or 3 to High Dependency. Lillylightful held together, going well on the corner, got away. The other 2 are flat. And as they turn the bend, Lillylightful a length in front of Spot on Maggie. Permission whacking away and they're clear from Hoaxdress. But it's Lillylightful 2 lengths in front down to the 200 metres mark. Spot on Maggie, Permission try hard. But Lillylightful in front and she's too good for them today. Goes home and wins it a length and a half. Spot on Maggie second, Permission third and fourth Fontanette. They were followed by Hoaxdress, High Dependency and Elusive Miss last in.
Lillylightful, 1 of 2. They backed early, holds 250 on your totes there. Was 230 or 250 overall, but was backed early in the betting. And straight to the front, travels well, kicks and wins pretty well. Breaks the maiden status today. Spot on Maggie, who box-seated and was flushed out before the turn. Looked a big chance at that point. Took a minute to wind up, but finished off okay into the 1 length second. She was our sporting bet market mover and well supported. She's run very well. And the third horse was the other one that had a nibble late in the betting, Permission, who was able to go up and sit second. Now, she was originally $3 to $3.80, back into $3.60 even after we crossed to Terry. So it was a late nibble for her, but she was no match for the first 2. And fourth was Fontanette, a pretty good debut at big odds here for Fontanette, who's probably run into 3 who go okay. She was a huge drifter, 26 to 61. That's when the blue colours battling on okay into a distant sort of fourth. But all honours with the winner here. Straight to the front, gives a kick to Lillylightful and breaks through. Of course, first up last time in, she ran second to Celebrity Girl, if you don't mind, in town. So I can see why there was a strong push for her today. And fast time, they ran 56.27 that day, Celebrity Girl, and stamped herself as a top shelf filly. And of course, was one of the runs of the day. Caulfield on Saturday for mine, a huge run. To Lillylightful, $2.50, $1.70, $1.90. Spot on Maggie, no third for Permission. Your Quinella, we're not retiring there, $3.50, exact to $6.60. And the try, $11.70. So you need that to be in order in a few times to be making a profit. The first 4 has a bit of value with the roughie debutante, $106. Tabby number 8, getting the 4th. Terry, those first 3, I think, go okay.
Yeah, she's always shown a lot of ability. She actually jumped out of the gate well today, and that was the key with the rail out 7 metres. She was able to jump and lead on the fence. She had them beaten at the 600 metres mark. She's run a time of 59.21, a length and a quarter by 1.5. And Lillylightful returning to scale. She's a Largo Delight filly out of Creside, a Czar mare, ridden by Craig Newt. She had the blinkers off today first up, so she seemed to relax pretty comfortably in front. And she had that wind coming up the home straight, but she put pay to them pretty comfortably. And promising young trainer Matt Laurie has himself a handy filly. She probably should have won a race by now. She raced against some of the top graders and performed extremely well without a great deal of luck. So flying start there. Of the others, Spot on Maggie did a few things wrong. She's still learning what it's all about. And Permission seemed pretty moderate outside the speed, just whacked away. But Lillylightful, too good for them in those red and white colours, Gator after the running of the first.
Yeah, good little win too, and straight to the front, and gives a neat kick. And Craig jumped a bit better today. She's done a few things wrong in the past.
Yeah, Maddie just said if she begins, she should be winning, and she stepped a little bit slow again, but she's got great early speed, and she drove through, she dictated, and she won with a bit in hand.
Travelled sweetly to come into the turn, seemed to.
She did. She, after giving a good rub early, she really backed off, relaxed good, and she gave me a really good kick halfway around that corner, sustained it to the line.
Rail at 7 metres today. You would have had a look at the track. What are you thinking?
Yeah, it's pretty firm. Sort of early on, you'd think it's going to suit on speed runners, but this track tends to change a fair bit.
Well done, mate.
Thanks.
Craig Newt, winning rider in the first here to Lillylightful. Straight to the front and breaks the maiden.